Where Winds Meet has some of the most frustrating PvP mechanics I've experienced in a long time, and most of the issues seem to come down to how heavily the system is affected by ping. On the surface, the combat looks complex and skill-based, but once you actually start playing PvP, many fights feel like they're decided less by skill and more by connection quality. Certain weapons already have extremely strong combo potential, and when latency gets involved, those combos become even more oppressive. True combos are incredibly strong, especially on weapons like the Nameless Spear. It isn't even a particularly reaction-based weapon, yet once someone lands a clean hit, it can easily snowball into a long chain where the opponent barely has a chance to respond. Then there's the Mo Blade, which can delete huge chunks of your health bar if someone lands a divine counter. In theory, that mechanic should reward timing and precision, but with the way latency works in this game, it often feels like you're getting punished before your inputs even register. The biggest problem is that ping influences almost every interaction in PvP. Attacks that shouldn't land still connect. Attacks that I clearly perfect dodge still land anyway. Sometimes attacks that aren't even close to hitting me still stagger me as if they did. That completely undermines the reliability of defensive mechanics. What should normally be false combos start behaving like true combos, simply because the game doesn't register your escape inputs in time. Then there are the input issues. Sometimes your character moves without you touching anything on your keyboard. Other times your mouse clicks don't register at all. You see an attack coming, you try to parry or dodge it, and nothing happens. Weapon switching can also fail, which completely disrupts the flow of combat. Twin Blade probably suffers the most from all of this. It's a weapon that relies heavily on timing, fast inputs, and maintaining pressure. But if your ping is bad, the entire weapon starts to fall apart. Combos don't chain properly, abilities don't trigger when they should, and your overall DPS drops significantly. Even the lock-on for Twin Blade's Q ability can stop functioning properly if the ping is high enough, which makes a core mechanic of the weapon unreliable. And to be clear, the footage in this video is just 6 matches that I played back to back to show how bad the experience can get when you're dealing with high ping. I have a gigabit internet connection. And in other games like CS2, Valorant, or Marvel Rivals, I typically sit around 30 to 40 milliseconds on NA servers. But playing NA servers on Where Winds Meet feels like logging into East Asia servers in almost any other game. Maybe even worse, considering how fast-paced the combat in this game is. The PvP system just feels poorly designed in its current state. There are already overpowered builds and even more than most FPS titles. This video was recorded right after my first match, where I literally couldn't move for the entire game. That's how bad the PvP arena can get sometimes. And all of these matches were recorded back to back with 0 edits. So these aren't cherry-picked clips or millisecond frame differences. The impact of ping here is massive. It's a night and day difference that completely changes how the game plays. And the frustrating part is, I actually love this game. I've put hundreds of hours into it, and PvP is the main reason I keep coming back. I've reached Mythic every season since launch, even while dealing with bad ping. But it feels like I can never push further because I'm constantly facing players with dramatically better connections. I genuinely enjoy the PvE side of the game as well. The PvE systems feel fair, the encounters are fun, and the progression doesn't feel overly punishing. I've even spent quite a bit on cosmetics because I want to support the game. And I'm waiting for the Tang Dao to release so I can switch over to that weapon and probably pick up cosmetics for it as well. The monetization itself doesn't feel predatory, which is something I really appreciate. But once players run out of PvE content, they naturally move toward PvP. That makes PvP the long-term replayable part of the game, which means it's an incredibly important system that deserves much more attention. NetEase and its subsidiary Everstone Studio are multi-billion-dollar companies. Yet the number of servers available for this game feels extremely limited. You could almost count them on one hand. And for a game that relies on precise timing and fast combat, that lack of server coverage becomes a huge problem. I really hope the developers start paying more attention to this issue. Even if content releases slow down a bit, improving the multiplayer experience would make a massive difference for the health of the game. A lot of players, including many people in my own guild, waited over a year for the global release and even participated in the beta. But many of them eventually quit because the multiplayer experience was so inconsistent, especially when it came to things like guild bosses. At the end of the day, I'm saying all of this because I want the game to succeed. The combat is fun, the world is beautiful, and there's clearly a lot of passion behind it. But if the multiplayer experience continues to be held back by ping and server limitations, a lot of players who genuinely love the game may eventually be pushed away from it. So, to wrap it all up, I'm speaking out because I believe in the potential of this game. I know the developers have built something special, but if the multiplayer issues aren't addressed, many dedicated players will drift away. I hope the team puts real focus on improving server infrastructure and reducing latency. Because if they do, this game can thrive for years to come. And I, along with so many others, will stick around for the long haul.